Welcome to Chapter 5. In the first few chapters, we focused entirely on service businesses, or companies that earn revenue by providing a service, like a law firm, a consulting group, an accounting firm, or a dance studio. But now we're shifting our attention to the vast majority of the economy, which are merchandising businesses or retailers. A merchandising business is any company that buys physical goods and then resells them. Think of Amazon, your local grocery store, or a car dealership. This fundamental change, selling a product instead of a service, adds two massive new concepts to our accounting framework. The first is inventory. This is the most important asset for a merchandiser. It represents the cost of all the goods the company holds for resale. So think of everything that you have in the store. The second is the cost of goods sold, and this is typically the biggest expense for a merchandiser. It represents the expense incurred when inventory is actually sold to a customer, or it represents the total value of everything that we paid for that we then sold. Because tracking the cost and quantity of these items is so critical, every merchandiser must choose one of two inventory systems. So we generally have two broad categories. The first is the perpetual inventory system. And it gets its name from the word perpetual, which means continuous. This system maintains a continuous real-time record of all inventory on hand. So think about going into a store and you're wondering if they have something on hand like a dishwasher if you're going into an appliance store. You can ask them, do you have this model of dishwasher on hand? And someone might pull up a computer and say, yes, we have two of those. How did they know that? And how did the computer know that they had two dishwashers? It's because they are using the perpetual inventory system, and whenever we buy something or sell something, the inventory account is updated. So who uses this? Generally, it's large retailers, online stores, high volume businesses like Target, Home Depot, Amazon. Pretty much every store nowadays uses the perpetual inventory system. Now, there is a lot of work that goes into the perpetual system, lots of journal entries. It's very detailed. In the past, this was not feasible to do because of how much work that it is. But today, computers make it possible to use the perpetual system more efficiently and economically. The older, more traditional system is called the periodic system. Now, the difference between the perpetual and periodic is perpetual system is perpetually or continuously updated, so you always know how much inventory you have. The periodic system, you don't. You only periodically check how much inventory you have. So instead, the inventory balance is only updated once a month or once a year. So you might not know exactly how much you have at any given time. To find out if you have that dishwasher in stock, instead of checking the computer, you go look in the store or look in the back room to find out if the dishwasher is actually there. So you wouldn't be able to know by just looking it up in a computer. Now, who uses this? The one is very small businesses, think mom and pop shops, low volume retailers, or businesses that sell very inexpensive items where the cost of tracking every single sale would outweigh the benefit. And when I think of that, I think of like hardware stores. Sure, a hardware store could track every single screw that they sell, but is it actually worth it? And the answer is probably not, and I would think hardware stores might just use the periodic system, especially for those very small items like screws and stuff. So every time you buy a screw, they're not updating their inventory and saying, we have 1,576 screws left. They're just going to look at it at the end of the month and say, all right, this is how many screws we have left. Do we need to buy any more? So they only look at it periodically. hence the name of the periodic system. So the periodic system is simpler and it's cheaper. You don't need as many computer systems, which can be expensive. But that system is not used as much anymore because computers have become more inexpensive, cheaper, more efficient. And so the software needed to do that is also more efficient and cheaper nowadays too. So I don't see the periodic system being used as much. Hence, since the perpetual system is so much in use out there, we'll be focusing exclusively on the perpetual system in this chapter. So the chapter does have an appendix where it covers the periodic system. We're not going to cover that one. We're going to focus exclusively on the perpetual system since almost all sellers nowadays use it.